squeezing here, but we will make the most of it. So we are going to start with our news articles from the Straits Times, and we will start with a bit of fast, 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 fast food news, and it's McDonald's. So hope everyone likes their fast food. Onion recall linked to E. coli, and McDonald's spreads to other fast food chains in the US. So, some fun fast food news. New York. A sweeping onion recall linked to an E. coli outbreak involving McDonald's Quarter Pounders has prompted several other major fast food chains to remove raw onions from their menu offerings. Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, and Burger King have stopped adding fresh onions to their signature items at certain locations. A spokesperson for Yum Brands, which owns several fast food chains, said its restaurants were yanking onions from their menus out of an abundance of caution. Yum Brands would not elaborate or say how many sites in how many states would not offer onions. So, probably good news for people who don't like onions. Federal regulators have not confirmed the source of the outbreak, which has so far killed one person and sickened 49. Initial investigations have suggested that the fresh slivered onions served mainly atop McDonald's Quarter Pounders were a likely source of contamination. Taylor Farms, the sole supplier of those onions to the affected McDonald's locations in 10 states, issued a recall of several yellow onion products because of potential E. coli contamination. According to a notice from US Foods, a company that distributes the Taylor ingredients to many restaurants. Just going to zoom in a little more so hopefully you guys can have a better look of the text. There we go. Hope that it's clearer. Imagine it's a bit hard to see, but oh no, it's sliding. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see the words clearer. Let's see, right. Burger King said that about 5% of its sites nationwide are supplied with onions from the Taylor Farms Colorado facility, and it said it would stop offering them in the region for now. A spokesperson for the fast food chain said the company was not aware of any illnesses connected to its food. Yum Brands declined to say whether Taylor Farms supplied its onions. In addition, although US Foods alerted its customers, a spokesperson said it did not directly supply McDonald's with Taylor onions. McDonald's declined to publicly identify its distributors. Sorry, just gonna adjust this little thing here a bit. Hopefully that will prevent it from sliding too much. There we go. Yum Brands declined to say whether Taylor Farms supplied its onions. In addition, although U.S. Foods alerted its customers, a spokesperson said it did not directly supply McDonald's with Taylor onions. McDonald's declined to publicly identify its distributors. The U.S. Foods Notice instructed restaurants to immediately stop serving the specified onions, diced, peeled, and whole, and destroy them. The items were voluntarily recalled by Taylor Farms, Colorado, out of an abundance of caution, a spokesperson for U.S. Foods said in an email. Taylor Farms did not respond to requests for comment. Health officials and McDonald's said that they had not ruled out possible contamination of the quarter pounder beef patties used for the burger, a popular menu item. The U.S. Agriculture Department said a state agency has collected minced beef patties for testing. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is also investigating reports from people who became ill in a number of states. The outbreak has sickened people across the Mountain West region, though most cases have been clustered in Colorado. New York Times. So, anyone still having an appetite for McDonald's today? Well, that's only in the US anyway, so let's look for some other news articles to continue with. That was a fairly short fast food news update. I guess we'll read something that's relatable, I guess, maybe Gen Z news. So we'll continue reading our articles in a bit. Good morning, everyone. For those of you joining us this morning, we are doing our regular morning news reading session. So do join us as we go through a few news articles together this morning. We'll practice reading together if you can see the words. Hopefully you can. So a little bit of US news. Looking at Gen Z demographic, which I presume some of you are Gen Zers and some of you are Gen Alpha. So here we go. Gen Z. Split Gen Z. Gender divide grows in US youth vote. Washington. An unexpected schism among American youth could decide the US presidential election, with young women largely leaning left to back Kamala Harris, but many men turning right to rally behind Donald Trump, according to polls. The growing gender divide means Ms. Harris is having to fight Trump for a big chunk of the youth vote, and it's a battle that will be played out vividly on October 25th. Trump, who has already spent time with young social media influencers from the kickboxing and cryptocurrency worlds, will head to Texas for an interview on the Joe Rogan Experience, a podcast reaching a largely male audience of millions. Facing the tightest of elections, the Republican ex-president is betting he can tip the scales thanks to surging support from young men drawn to his brand of macho politics, real estate business law, and love of sports talk. Ms. Harris will also be in Texas, but aiming her message loudly and clearly at young women. Joined by superstar Beyonce, the queen of US pop culture feminism, Ms. Harris is set to deliver a speech on abortion rights in a state that has imposed some of the most radical restrictions in the country. Overall, the youth vote still very much tends to favor the Democratic Party. A Harvard University poll released in September of 18 to 29-year-olds who plan to vote gave Ms. Harris a 31-point advantage over Trump. But the same poll found 70% of young women plan to vote for Ms. Harris and 23% for Trump. Among young men, however, Ms. Harris had the support of only 53%, while Trump got 36%. A more recent NBC poll of the same age range showed an even starker divide. 59% of young women favored Ms. Harris to Trump's 26%. But among young men, the margin narrowed considerably, 42% for Ms. Harris and 40% for Trump. I'm worried about women's rights, and especially women's health care. It's like they're already trying to take away our right for an abortion. What else can they take away? What's next? Asked Miss Madeline Tanner, an 18-year-old medical student in Arizona. Miss Tanner, who follows campaign news through TikTok, said, I'm going to vote for Kamala because, based on what I've seen on social media, Kamala looks a lot better than Trump, who can appear really childish. I do believe the pronunciation of her name should be Kamala. So, just to correct myself, it's Kamala. Miss Harris, Kamala. On the other hand, Mr. Zachary Klein, who at 21 is working 60-hour weeks as a waiter and at a funeral home in Pennsylvania to get by, said he has won over by Trump's image. He was won over by Trump's image as good for the economy. I know a lot of people are still in favor of Trump, just because everything was a lot lower when he was president, he said, referring to prices. Miss Jenny Sweet Cushman, a Chatham University political science professor, has noticed something deeper, a growing rift in how young Americans see their futures. The women are increasingly likely to get college degrees and to leave the Republican camp, she said. The men are embracing the right. When I asked my students if they plan on having children, the young men pretty consistently do see themselves as having children someday. And almost none of the young women do, she said. Studies show that a growing number of young US women are shunning traditional conservative ideas about family, marriage, and sexuality, and are also distancing themselves from religion in a country where faith and politics can be closely linked. An April poll by the Survey Center on American Life found that post World War II men were more likely than women to leave the religion in which they were raised. But in Gen Z, people born from the late 1990s to early 2010s, It is the other way around, with women representing 54% of those who leave their religion. Whether these gender dynamics will be decisive on election day is impossible to say, given the many variables in such a tight contest. But one thing is clear: women are historically far more likely to vote. Women have outnumbered and outvoted men for over 40 years in American politics. And so there's, no indicator that that would be different in 2024. Ms. Kelly Dittmar, a professor of political science at Rutgers University, said, AFP. So that is news from America with about Gen Z voters this year. We will take a short break as we scan through for more news articles to look through. Hopefully, something interesting. Perhaps we might find something under the Asia headlines. Let's look around. I suppose you could read a bit of local news development. For those of you living in Bishan and Tampines, maybe this might be interesting. So we will begin shortly. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in our morning news reading session. Hope you are having a good morning. We will continue by reading some local news. For those of you living in Tampines and Bishan, perhaps this is something to look forward to. Town centers in Tampines, Bishan could be redeveloped under new plans by URA. Singapore. Homes could be built above and around Tampines MRT station, and office towers could spring up near the Bishan transport hub under newly unveiled plans to redevelop both these town centers. These plans to rejuvenate developed town hubs were made public by the Urban Redevelopment Authority, or URA for short, on October 24 as part of an exhibition showcasing current and future economic hubs in Singapore. Also in the pipeline could be a new industrial park in Seletar near Seletar Aerospace Park. URA said in the exhibition that it is planning to rejuvenate the area around Tampines MRT station, the Tampines Regional Center, which was established in 1992. It plans to be it plans to build new mixed-use developments which will have homes, commercial spaces, and an integrated transport hub centered on the area now occupied by Tampines Bus Interchange and the MRT station. There, the authorities plan to add a new public space to activate the heart of Tampines Regional Center and make bus fare transfers more convenient. The redevelopment will also make it easier for people to walk. to nearby areas such as our Tampines Hub, Sun Plaza Park, and the Housing Board Neighborhood Center at Tampines Central 1. URA said this could be done by building sheltered paths and underground passages. For Bishan, URA plans to develop new offices and workspaces in the empty plots of land around the Junction 8 Mall and Bishan Bus Interchange. These new office spaces will be integrated with shops, social amenities, and transport facilities, said URA, and added that there will be more public spaces and plazas for community use, including one at the current site of Bishan Bus Interchange. The plan also is for the new developments around Bishan MRT station to be car light, with pedestrian friendly streets and easy access to public transport facilities. Mr. Nicholas Muck, Chief Research Officer at Mogul.sg, said that with the work from home culture now ingrained in employees, demand for new office spaces in primarily residential areas like Bishan may not be robust. It may take a while for the market to absorb any spaces that are rolled out, just as it was with Paya Lebar, when office spaces were built near the MRT station there, he said. He noted that many firms, especially larger ones, still prefer being sited in traditional central business districts, or CBDs for short, due to proximity to other companies offering supporting services and opportunities for their employees to network. The authorities also intend to build a new industrial park in Seletar East for high value add sector business for high value add sector industries such as wafer fabrication. These are part of efforts to increase the supply of industrial spaces to support high tech sectors, URA said. The park will be sited in an area of about 3.4 square kilometers bounded by Tampines Expressway, Seletar Aerospace Drive, and Sungai Pongo, which is currently zoned as a reserve site, meaning its specific use has not been determined. The site includes heritage bungalows associated with the former British Royal Air Force Station in Seletar, as well as the Singapore Armed Forces Seletar Camp, and vegetated areas such as Seletar Wet Gap and Sungai Pongo mangroves. So, officers closer to homes. As part of its decentralization strategy, the Urban Redevelopment Authority is looking to expand and rejuvenate economic spaces across the island. The plans to refresh Tampines Regional Center, which was established in 1992, and add new offices in the area around Bishan MRT station. So here is the map of where they are going to do all the redevelopment. So for those of you who live around Tampines area, this may perhaps be familiar. And for those of you living around Bishan, this is what the redevelopment might look like. Environmental studies will be conducted to ensure that the industrial park's development is carried out sensitively, said URA, while industrial developer JTC Corporation said the area will be developed in phases starting in the near to medium term. The plans are part of a decentralization strategy that the country has pursued since the early 1990s by creating economic areas beyond the CBD and moving jobs closer to homes. Also being studied are plans for an upcoming Changi East Urban District, a 30-hectare airport city to be established next to the airport. Nearby, the existing Changi Business Park could be rejuvenated with new spaces for mixed-use developments and aerospace-related firms to tap the area's proximity to Changi Airport. These plans come as construction of Changi Airport's Terminal 5 is set to begin in 2025, so that is next year. URA cited airport cities in Amsterdam, Hong Kong, and Istanbul as examples of cities in the world with commercial areas around their airports. Speaking at the exhibition's launch, Senior Minister of State for National Development Tan Kiat Hao said Singapore's downtown will still remain the country's core financial hub, and the government is evolving it into an attractive multi-purpose destination. The URA is reviewing its CBD and strategic development incentive schemes, which are aimed at rejuvenating central areas. Mr. Tan said, and the authorities are also looking for new ways to meet changing business needs, and will look into refining policies such that more mixed-use districts can be created, combining residential and recreational spaces within industrial and commercial developments. URA's exhibition at the URA Center in Maxwell Road runs until January 3rd, 2025. The public can find out more about the upcoming plans and offer feedback at this address. So that is local news. We will take a short break as we look for more developments. Hopefully, something interesting to read. Well, maybe we will look at some school developments and see what has happened with the mobile guardian. So for those of you who use the devices, just a quick little update here. Good morning. Welcome to our morning news reading session. We will now begin with another news article, local news. Mobile Guardian replacement. Chromebooks to get new app in November. iPads by January. Singapore. Students with school-issued Chromebooks will be getting a new device management application, DMA for short, from November 2024. And those with iPads will have it installed by January 2025. For Chromebooks, the new application is Lightspeed Systems, while iPads will be using the app GEMF, said the Ministry of Education (MOE) on October 24. For Windows devices, Bloxy will remain as the Devices Management App, MOE added. The DMA helps parents manage their children's device use, restricting screen time and access to specific websites and apps. The new MOE DMA solutions are selected for their ability to meet core technology requirements and their compliance with the requisite security standards, including independent third-party security attestations and certifications, the ministry said. The core technology requirements are mobile device management, usage management, and classroom management services. While no software solution is entirely foolproof, we have taken steps to ensure that the new MOE DMA solutions meet schools' needs effectively, the ministry said. The DMA aims to support students in learning how to use their devices safely and responsibly, helping to safeguard their cyber wellness, said MOE. On September 10, Education Minister Chan Chun Sing said that a new DMA will be rolled out by January 2025, after the ministry stopped using the Mobile Guardian app in all students' iPads and Chromebooks. Mobile Guardian services were terminated at the end of August, after multiple incidents involving the app in 2024. In that month, a cybersecurity breach affected 13,000 devices, with 1 in 6 of these devices losing data. Another incident occurred on July 30th, when more than 1,000 students from at least 5 secondary schools were affected by a glitch on the app, which was due to human error in configuration by Mobile Guardian. So, was anyone affected by this? It just seems like an over reliance on technology, and this is what happens. In April 2024, Mobile Guardian's user management portal was hacked due to poor password management practices, which led to a data leak involving the names and email addresses of parents and teachers of 5 primary schools and 122 secondary schools. Students using Chromebooks will have the Lightspeed Systems application installed automatically by the vendor by the end of November 2024, said MOE. Parents of students do not need to take any additional steps to install the application. Lightspeed Systems is a software company based in Austin, Texas, in the US. It was founded in 1999. For those using iPads, the application GEMF will be rolled out only in January 2025, as it requires a guided onboarding process in school. The Straits Times understands that some schools have started holding briefings since October 23rd, for students about the new app. One secondary 3 student told Straits Times that during the briefing, she was told she would have to reset her iPad again. Jamf, based in Minnesota in the US, was founded in 2002. Its software is designed to manage and secure Apple products such as iPads and iPhones. Parents can choose to manage their child's device after school hours, said MOE. In a survey on Parents Gateway, a portal used by MOE to communicate with parents, 3 options are given for the DMA on children's iPads. Keep the in-school settings the same after school hours, modify the settings, or render the app inactive after school hours. For the last option, parents have been told they will not be able to monitor or control their child's use of the device after school hours, and there will be no restrictions on the content their child consumes. MOE said schools will get training to use the new applications in November 2024, and it will provide resources to schools to help them with the deployment process, as well as to help students and parents. The ministry did not provide details on the training. MOE recognizes that both schools and parents will need time to familiarize themselves with the new MOE DMA solutions and may encounter some thieving issues, said the ministry, adding that it will provide support and address issues that arise as the new apps are rolled out. So that is the latest update on MOE's fun attempt to replace Mobile Guardian after all the little chaos it caused. What in the world? Okay. Let's look at some other news. Perhaps we can find something interesting under lifestyle. Maybe we could look at our neighbors and see what's going on over there. Probably not sad news. Um, what? There's a lot of politic news here. Okay, maybe we will look under the lifestyle section and maybe we can find something light-hearted, something interesting here on the life. Let's see here. Oh, we could probably look at some food news. Yes, probably do some food news. Sounds pretty good. Alright, let's make this our next article. We will start in a bit, just need to clear my nostrils. Pardon me and my morning allergies. All right, welcome, good morning, and thank you for joining us for this morning news reading session. We will look through some lifestyle articles in the Straits Times today, and we will start with our next article. Food pics. Refreshed menu at halal-friendly OUD restaurant in Bukit. Singapore. Muslim-friendly wood-fired OUD restaurant in Bugis marks its first anniversary with a refreshed menu. Standout new dishes include the fire-grilled unagi, $10 a piece, minimum order of 2 pieces, a sushi-style piece of grilled eel on crispy rice, grilled octopus for $26, with romesco sauce and beef chorizo butter. That sounds nice. And pressed lamb belly at $38, an improved version of a previous lamb dish in which the meat and fats are evenly distributed into a terrine-like patty before grilling. Other highlights are the signature squid ink seafood paella, $48. That is really expensive, and OUD fries, a take on a trendy layered potato pave, topped with beef tartare, $5, salmon tartare, $5.50, or tuna tartare, $6. Hurting sounds expensive. I can't afford this. I don't get paid enough. To finish, go for the mango, $18, or grandma's banana cake, $16. That is very expensive. The desserts sound ordinary, but like the rest of the dishes by Mu Chef Muhammad Sa Indra Jasni and his team, a lot of thought goes into making them. The mango dessert resembles the actual fruit, where the skin cradles a refreshing mango sorbet topped with finger limes. The banana cake served with vanilla ice cream and caramel sauce also comes with an eye-catching piece of dehydrated, blackened banana skin. It serves as the crunch factor and is clever use of the whole fruit. The 38-seat restaurant offers a private dining option in its homely space, where the chefs can customize menus for special occasions. So that was a very short article where 48 Kandahar Street near MRT is Bugis, and these are the opening hours. You can check it out. OUD restaurant. Sounds like a fancy place, and I don't think I can afford to go there. So we will look at something else more affordable, fast food. So has everyone heard of Lotteria? It looks really nice. So on to our next morning news article, more food news. Katrina Group to bring South Korean hamburger chain Lotteria to Singapore. Singapore. Katrina Group is planning to bring South Korean hamburger chain Lotteria to Singapore. The Food and Beverage, F&B, and Hospitality Group said on October 23 it plans to open multiple Lotteria outlets across Singapore, with the first store expected to open by the second quarter of 2025. Lotteria, which first opened in 1979, is known for its Korean-style burgers with localized and seasonal offerings. It operates more than 1,600 stores across 7 countries such as Vietnam, Cambodia, and Myanmar. Mr. Alan Goh, chief executive and founder of Katrina Group, said in a press statement, "Given the brand's massive popularity in South Korea and its emphasis on quality, innovation, and customer satisfaction, we are confident that Lotteria will resonate with Singaporeans and further enhance our F&B portfolio. Katrina Group has signed a non-binding term sheet with F&B company Lotte GRS for the deal. The group expects to benefit from the synergies between its market presence and Lotte's strong brand reputation in Asia. Katrina Group owns and operates 7 F&B brands in Singapore, including casual dining brands such as Bali Thai, Daily Chicken, Streets, and Sofa, along with mid-range dining brands Sancho's and Tomo Tokyo. The company has also introduced Daily Beer, a joint venture brand offering an innovative Korean style craft beer and fried chicken experience. The Business Times. So that was a very short news article on food. Perhaps we will look at more lifestyle articles. Just gonna poke around and see if there's anything else interesting. Okay, I suppose we could read a bit of art pics, ST pics. Let's look around elsewhere for other news. See if we can find something interesting or entertaining or hopefully something insightful. I suppose we can read this. A bit of local news history. Welcome everyone for joining us this morning for our morning news reading. So we will continue our news article reading together. Eng Hwa's 80-year legacy ends as historic Singapore cinema operator exits industry. Singapore. The sale of Eng Hwa's Wee Cinemas operations in Clementi to MM2 Asia, which runs Cathay Cineplexes, marks the exit of one of Singapore's smallest cinema operators, one with deep roots in the country's history, especially its housing estates. The sale announcement on October 18 shrinks the pool of 1 and 2 location operators with regular screenings of commercial films. Only the Projector, Carnival Cinemas, Eagle Wings Cinematics, and Film Guard Cineplexes are left. Most of these indie players serve a niche which helps explains their longevity. The Projector specializes in festival and art house films, and Carnival Cinemas is a haven for Bollywood films. Eagle Wings Cinematics, which follows a Christian ethos that includes screening inspiring non-mainstream fare, serves the community in the more affluent Bukit Timah and King Albert Park area. Meanwhile, Single location cinemas like Oldham Theatre and Art Science Cinema explore a curated selection of films built on specific themes, for example, to celebrate filmmakers or cultural programs. Film guard cineplexes like We Cinemas lacks a market niche. In recent years, it has shrunk to one outlet at Leisure Park Kallang. The major chains Golden Village Multiplex, Cathay Cineplexes, and Shaw Theatres continue to dominate in the business landscape challenged by the COVID-19 pandemic, falling attendance, Hollywood strikes, and the rise of streaming services. Tough times tend to favor larger players, say experts. Anghua Global's cinema business began with the opening. Sorry. Anghua Global's cinema business began with the opening of Victory Theatre at Happy Wo Amusement Park just after World War II. The company was founded by businessman Go Anghua, who died in 2015 at the age of 92. From the 1940s to the 2010s, Ningwa cinemas flourished in housing estates. Mr. Wong Han Min, a researcher specializing in the history of Singapore cinemas, has fond memories of Angwa's Toa Payoh Theatre, the chain's first cinema in a housing board estate, which opened in 1972, where he watched movies as a child. The 55-year-old, who gave a talk at the National Heritage Board's Heritage Fest in Maine on the island's old cinemas, also owns one of Singapore's largest collections of film memorabilia. Anghua cinemas back then catered to a Chinese-speaking audience. They would bring in romantic dramas from Taiwan and kung fu movies from Hong Kong, he says. Anghua's movies were usually produced by smaller studios, with Hollywood fare and films by larger Asian studios going to chains run by Cathay and Shaw, adds Mr. Wong. By the start of the 1990s, however, Anghua had entered the English language market. The company opened Empress Cinema in Clementi in 1980 and Jubilee Cinema in Ang Mo Kio in 1981. It also ventured into the city centre, operating cinemas at Marina Square from 1989 to 1998 and Suntec City from 1998 to 2013. So this was Empress Cinema in 1992. All outlets except the one in Clementi would eventually close for good. By the 1990s, Singaporeans had gravitated to large cineplexes in MRT-connected shopping centres. Anghua's downtown ventures faced challenges. The Suntec Cinema was in a hard-to-reach part of the mall, says Mr. Wong, adding that it would take the maturation that it would take the maturation of the MRT network during the 2010s to bring areas like Suntec City within easier reach of cinema goers. Golden Village took over Anghua's Suntec premises in 2014. After Nan Hua Cinemas rebranded itself as We Cinemas in 2011, it made a comeback to the cinema business in 2015 with the opening of a new 10-screen multiplex at 321 Clementi. This return came after a 2-year hiatus following the closure of its Westmore and Suntec City outlets. From then to 2024, the Clementi Multiplex would be the operator's sole cinema operation. Nan Hua Global's shift to other activities mirrors the move taken by the more well-known Singapore company, Cathay Organisation. Its Cathay Cineplexes was acquired by media conglomerate MM2 Asia in 2017. Both companies pivoted away from cinemas in response to changing market conditions. Nan Hua Global remains active in the hospitality and real estate sectors in Singapore and Malaysia. In addition to We Cinemas, it owns Hotel Fort Canning, Shopping Centre Jubilee Square in Ang Mo Kio, the 321 Clementi Building, the Legends Fort Canning Park Town Club, and the Legends Golf and Country Resort in Sedenak, Johor. Jubilee Square hosts some Nan Hua cinema history. It was the site of the company's Jubilee Cinema, which was torn down in 1994 and replaced in 1996 by an entertainment complex with a 4-hall cineplex. Cinema operations there ceased in 2010, with the halls converted into retail space. The site was then revamped and reopened in 2012 as Jubilee Square. MM2 Asia announced on October 18 that it will acquire and take over operations of We Cinemas at 321 Clementi on November 1st. It will also be renamed Cathay Cineplexes Clementi 321. A spokesperson for MM2 Asia says the handover will not interrupt operations. In a statement, Ms. Goh Min Yen, Managing Director at Nan Hua Global, says, "We are very appreciative and grateful for the phenomenal support from our cinema patrons since the opening of We Cinemas at 321 Clementi. Under the management and team of Cathay Cineplexes, customers can continue to enjoy the very best cinematic entertainment that the movie industry has to offer, and we are committed to supporting the new management for the transition." In response to Straits Times' query about closing the last Nan Hua cinema, a spokesperson for Nan Hua Global says, "We are happy to partner MM2 Asia, who can further scale the cinema business with our outlet. Furthermore, it is an integrated entertainment company, and we are confident that our patrons can continue to enjoy the magic of movies and more at 321 Clementi." A further question to the spokesperson about whether the company might stage a return to the cinema business as it did in 2015 did not get a response. Mr. Kenneth Tan is chairman of the Singapore Film Society and former managing director of Golden Village Multiplex 2003 to 2008. He remembers going to Empress Cinema as a student during the Hindu festival Vaikunda Ekadasi, where he watched many screenings, including a midnight double bill of Tamil films. And that is all for our